Strategy, technology, demos, and stories from Adobe Consulting. This is the Experience Lab Podcast. And welcome back to the Experience Lab Podcast. I'm Chris from Adobe, as always. Today, I'm joined by Biswajit Chakraborty, otherwise known as Biz. He's a principal enterprise architect here in Adobe Consulting, and he's currently in the CTO program at Wharton. Today, he and I are going to dig into the big question, who really owns Martech? All right, so we're recording this on a Friday. Happy Friday, Biz.
Happy Friday, Chris.
So why don't you say hello to everybody, introduce yourself, we'll get to know you a little bit, and then we'll start talking a little bit about some CTO Martech topics here.
Great. Yeah, I'm thrilled to join today. So my full name is Biswajit Chakraborty, but you can all call me Biz. I am a principal enterprise architect at Adobe, where my goal is to provide our customer the value that they're investing in Adobe stack. With that, I am also pursuing a CTO program from Wharton, where I'm learning a lot about the disruptive technologies, CTO mindset. I thought of this is a good time to share my knowledge that I'm learning at Wharton CTO program, plus my Adobe's knowledge, combine them, and let's talk to you all.
So let's get into it. So if I look at the traditional view of marketing tech, and I know you and I were chatting about this the other day, the thought there is that marketing technology often ends up sitting underneath the CMO as opposed to the CTO. So it's not looked at across the business. It's sort of within this little silo in the marketing org, and they end up owning that budget ultimately. So from your perspective, why is this an outdated idea?
I think this is one of the fantastic questions I've been hearing in recent times. So I think this we can start with this, and this is one of the questions that most commonly being asked and also being mistaken by different companies. But I personally feel that the Martech stack is no longer just a marketing function; it's a strategic business asset. So let's think about an example, right? So your technology is what enables customers acquisition, drives brand loyalty, and ultimately fuels the customer growth and the revenue, right? And to do that, when we think about only from marketing lens, that's not enough. So as a CTO, the CTO is responsible for companies like data, security, and infrastructure, but then they absolutely must be invested in the technology that directly powers the customer experience. Very important word here, the customer experience. And once we enhance the customer experience, the bottom line enhances, like the revenue will grow. The CTO's role has evolved. It's no longer just about managing cost or keeping the lights on. It's about building a scalable, secured, and agile foundation that allows the business to innovate and capture market share. That's a direct CTO mandate. That's what I think.
Well, and you make an interesting point about customer experience because it's become one of the bigger differentiators in every market now. And part of the CTO's role is to break down those silos between marketing and sales and service so that the customer has a consistent experience from the time they meet your organization to hopefully living on and renewing and staying on as a customer. And so if we keep marketing in a silo, that means we're creating silos within the customer experience itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because when you think from a customer end user, so like let's giving an example, any retail customer that we have and their end users or the end customer, when they come to their website or their any digital channel, you need to make sure that they're seeing the similar experience. We are catering to their needs instead of just blasting an email or some kind of information which is not relevant. So that's very important, like providing a personalized cater experience.
So, Biz, what happens if we get it wrong? So if the CTO is not engaged and not looking at the Martech stack as part of the whole that is the brand, what is the pain point that you're going to face? Maybe give me some examples, if you have any, of how not paying attention to the Martech stack can negatively impact your company's bottom line at the end of the day.
There are multiple things that I would like to mention here because I have seen over the years when it is not a focus area. And the first thing that we always see is the customer experience gets hampered, right? So when you see from a marketing channels perspective and we don't communicate with each other, so a customer who bought something online might get an email offering them a discount on the same item. So that's not just annoying, also have a trust issue with the customer. The brand value decreases, right? That is the first thing, the customer experience. Second thing, I can talk about the technical debts, okay? Because a lot of time we have seen that our different marketing team, they don't talk to the technology team and they go and acquire different tools. And because of that, it's all disconnected. And everybody is building their own system. And because of that, the technical debt increase. And I would say the significant long-term cost would be like completely bad customer experience, operational inefficiencies, and different integration headaches because of different tools is being purchased over the time. A third one, I have seen the data fragmentation, very important because the primary chill of any marketing system is the data. So data is, if you have multiple systems and their data is been fragmented, you will not be able to provide a full customer journey. Like one system will send an email, another system will do web analytics, another system will do social media, and you will send the same message in different places, and it will be totally disconnected, disjointed. The fourth one I feel is the agility, because in this AI world, right, things are moving so fast. So if the systems are not connected, not properly integrated, the agility will be missed and will lose behind in the race or in this generative AI world. So if I need to summarize what I said, the first thing is the customer experience, second thing is the technical debt, third thing is the data fragmentation, and fourth thing is the lack of agility.
I feel those examples in my bones of buying products and then continuing to see ads for that product everywhere I go for the next 3 months. And it shows, right? Like, I think everybody listening, if every single one of us can relate to those examples, it kind of illustrates the magnitude of this problem across so many brands. There's very few brands that are really getting this right.
Yes, that ad is being following you all the time, though you purchase the product. End of the day, the marketing name is losing the money because you already purchased the product. They're showing the ad, so ad is not free. It is they're losing money everywhere. So
Yeah, and that's huge. So let's say I'm a VP technology or a CTO, and I'm listening to this podcast, and my team is sitting around me, and we're all nodding. What do we do now, right? So what is the first step to start changing our mindset or changing the way we're behaving from a MarTech perspective? And maybe with that, if we can think a bit about what a good MarTech stack strategy actually looks like for leaders.
yeah, very very good question. So first thing from CTO's point of view, historically a lot of time we have seen that okay, we'll buy this tool, this technology, and this will solve a problem. I think technology be able to solve a problem. The mindset solve the problem. So we need to have a mindset shift first because technology is the enabler to solve a problem. Like first step is that you need to have a business objectives. Okay, so you need to note down what is you want to achieve, what will be your KPIs. Once those are finalized, then you can get into a particular technology, and that particular technology will enable you to achieve that particular business objective. So the first thing is that I always tell that think from a business perspective and then go to the technology. So as an enterprise architect, we need to make sure that we understand the business objectives, create an blueprint of the best technology set to achieve that business goal. And that blueprint will help our C-suite to get their vision and enable all this technology to get business objective. That's what I would like to hone into.
Well, and part of what a CTO has to do is make difficult decisions, right? We have to understand that we can't make everybody happy. And one of the hardest things about a marketing technology transition is marketers who are used to and in love with their tools that they've used for a really long time, because they are notorious for what we like to say feature chasing. So they're out chasing features, trying to satisfy specific needs, and the CTO needs to look at it more holistically. To your point about the data, it's the data foundation that is probably one of your single highest ROI moves long term, because it's going to lead to other technology changes on top of it that make things a lot more efficient, so that I'm measuring orders or transactions from exactly the same data set as everybody else in the building.
100% data is always the key.
Which is why holistic stacks like Plug Experience Platform are the wave of the future and very much the wave of today, because we bring together the data and then we build the features on top of it, as opposed to trying to move the data around and send it to all these systems that we've purchased because of some individual features.
100%. Yeah. That's totally, I totally agree to that. So Adobe Experience Platform is a customer data platform which will provide a single view of the customer, bringing in all the data, all the different types of data like CRM data, your e-commerce data, and all the different types of data, bring it in one place, give a single view of the customer, and then on that you can use different applications to activate, right?
Well, Biz, we've practiced what you preached earlier, in that we started at the top with the CTO and identifying what that vision is and what it should look like. And I think if we do another one, and we definitely should, I think we should talk a little bit deeper and get into what are the different pillars of a world-class architecture. And so for those of you listening, throw a comment below if you've got any specific questions for that next session. And Biz, before we drop, is there anything that you'd like to say before we head home? Anything you want to bring home?
Yeah, all the things that we discussed, the only one thing that I would like to always mention, that technology is the enabler of your business objectives. So change your mindset, think from a business perspective, and then acquire technology to achieve that goal.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Biz. Thanks, as always, for tuning into the Experience Lab podcast. Look, if there's one thing to take away from today's conversation, it's simply this. Technology doesn't drive transformation, alignment does. When marketing, IT, data, leadership, when everything's working together toward the same vision, your stack becomes more than just a collection of tools. It becomes a platform for growth. So if you're in a leadership position, you're a CTO, don't just manage infrastructure, own the experience, champion the business outcome, and start building systems that are just as connected as your customers expect you to be. Once again, I'm Chris from Adobe. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time on the Experience Lab podcast. This has been the Adobe Experience Lab podcast.